So apparently I have to talk louder because the voice recorder is really uh, low on volume. It's really hard to hear, and the graphics of the video, the quality of the video is not that good. I'm sorry for that. It's better. It's better to have this situation now because it was really hard all the time. I had to hold my phone to record myself, and I hope I will try to practice first how to make videos, how to talk in front of camera, how to do vlogging, and eventually hopefully I can buy a good webcam or a good camera and a good quality voice recorder. Well, after a while. For the meantime, sorry for the quality and sorry for the low volume, for the low sound. I'm trying to do my best, and I actually try to talk really loudly. So on today's topic, find a job. I found a job. I found a job. Holy schmuck. That was taking so fucking long. Like, way too long that it should have taken. Actually, it was like, the first time, realized that, oh, OMG, I'm going to have a job, or yes. And when I realized that I got the job, I have a job finally, it was like the following. Oh, I got the job. Wow, cool. Holy shit. It's taking way too much time to find a job. And when you try everything in a country where you don't really speak the language, it's really hard. Like, as I told you, I went through the city with CVs, scrolling them all the time. I went online, I applied for job searching pages and through online applications to companies. Most of them didn't even respond. I get rejected from the same company for different positions multiple times. It was like really depressing, really annoying. And the job I found, I wouldn't say it's good. It is not, but it is something finally. I'm a delivery boy, so actually I deliver papers and magazines and books and other packages, letters, etc. So yeah, it's a start. I mean, I know that it could come to this, and I don't mind actually. And finally, maybe first time in my life that I have a job where I have to do something challenging, something physically challenging, because of course I was a shop assistant. I did some student jobs. I had some packing, and I was a media assistant, so I worked in offices. But now I have to work at night and during dawn between 3 a.m. and 7 or 8 a.m. and it's really challenging, and if you go through the bike with many papers and deliver them in time to their correct address, it is not easy, especially in Denmark, especially during the winter now, especially in this chaotic weather. I mean, holy shit, the weather is terrible here. First time I got the job, it was like, okay, I have a bike. I'm going to have a bag which I have to put on the behind the seat, the trunk of the bicycle, and I have to carry somehow the papers there. First, I realized the bike that I have is like a mountain bike. It's a sports bike. It's not made for for carrying papers. So I needed a new bike. I get a bike from my flatmate, and it is apparently not really working. So first night when I went to the job, I had to deliver like the biggest amount of papers. So it was like 205 papers to the address, and it was far away to an unknown area of the city where I haven't been yet. And of course, I was new on the job, and it was okay. It was cold. It was -1. It's winter. And but the weather was clear. It was not raining, it was not snowing, it was clear, cold but clear, but the bicycle was shit. So it's, I would say, the very easy level, if we were talking about game levels, the very easy level would be hot, warm weather, clear sky, and a very good bicycle. That would be easy. Now it's Denmark, so I had to start with a shitty bike in cold, but with a clear sky and a bunch of papers. So I would say this is like medium hard. And I ran out of time, but I could still manage to finish after some point. But then in the next couple of days, I think life or karma or fate or I don't know what the hell just tries to challenge me all the time. Like in the next couple of days, it started snowing heavily, like really heavy snow. It was like really big snowflakes, like these big snowflakes. Okay, I get a better bike though because I had this shitty bike from my ex-fat mates, and one of the Romanian guys helped me out with a new bike, so I had a better bike, but it's still not a good bike. It's not the optimal bike, but it's a better bike. And by better bike, I mean that it can stop and it can carry the newspapers. That's it. That's why it's better. The problems with the bike that I'm not that really high. I'm 172 centimeters tall, and the bike is really big. Even if I set the seat like to the lowest level, so I hit my balls several times, which was not really fun when I had to get off. And the bicycle doesn't have a stand. So all the time I have to put the bike somewhere, or I have to just lay it on the ground, which is also makes it hard because I can't just jump off, put the steel, get the newspaper, go on back, go forward. It would be the ideal with an optimal bike. It's not the case with this one. So yeah, it makes it hard. But then the snow flying through your face, and there's snow everywhere, and you have a bunch of papers, and you have to adjust all the time. But it was fine. I would say that would have been set a level hard. But then all the snow, of course, and all the water got frozen. So I had to deliver newspapers to a suburban area, and they didn't have time, or they just didn't fucking care to clear the roads. It was like Iceland everywhere, like really Iceland slippery. And imagine that you have to go 4 a.m. in the morning with bunch of newspapers, and you have to go with the ice through the ice fields and the icy roads uphill or even downhill. It's like no, it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. But I was like, oh well, it's okay. I have a bunch of the, and actually I could finish that in time. The truth, even with the ices, the problem was that you can take double routes for double money. Some people do triple routes, and I have no idea how they managed to do that. I guess they have a good bike, and they have addresses in districts in downtown area, not in the second suburb where they have to go out far away. Some people have scooters, which also makes it 10 times easier to do stuff. I did do a double route with my shitty bike, and I ran out of time. In this case, you have to call the office and the center and let them know that you're gonna late by 1 hour or so. So yeah, you do that, and then it's like manageable. So yeah, double routes, and I could still finish in a fairly good amount of time. But I thought it was like with this ice and shit is like the worst, and then the next it is like the very hard level, and then it got even worse. When the weather started to get warmer and everything, the big huge amount of snow started melting, and everything was full of splunges and splashes and water and lakes already on the road. I got really soaking wet and hard. I had a hard time to carry the bicycle. But I would say it was also like the hard level of doing things. But then came the biggest change of all, and it wasn't the snow, it wasn't the ice, nor was the rain. It was the wind. Wow. What happened yesterday actually is a huge blowout of wind. It was actually 42 kilometer per hours, or how they measure it on my app. It's 11 meter per second around, and it was terrible, terrible. I had to go even with that, even that I'm okay. I'm not that fat, but I have a bunch of papers. I have the bicycle, and I had to hold really strongly the will to be able to stay on the road. It was really huge, and had to be outside of the city on fields, go through fields. I was like, holy shit, this is a hurricane, it's going to get me, and I'm going to fly all the way to the wonder world of Oz and meet Dorothy and her dog Toto. I was like, damn son, it's going to be the end of me. Apparently it wasn't, I still survived, but then it started raining with the huge wind blow getting all into my face. I was soaking wet. I was soaking wet. It was like, holy shit, terrible. But yeah, so fun times. I managed to do that, and the wind is still up and rising. So yeah, it's a hard job. I just started 1 week ago, so I have to figure out if I will be able to do it. I actually, luckily, I have 1 month break until the university continues, so I have time to figure out how to do the stuff. And also, if I'm able to do it, hopefully I will. I think I will have to survive until the end of February, and then the weather will start to get warmer, and it should be fine. And of course I need the money, so I don't really have any other options than to roll with the situation. And yes, hopefully, I really hope it's going to be enough money for me to pay the rent. We will see. But the point is that finally, after 4 months, Objective 1 is done. It's done. Uh, wow, I'm so glad. Even if the job is hard, even if I'm getting soaking wet, I'm getting cold, it's hard to do it, I have to wake up at night. Even though it's still better to do this than sitting at home and be physically and mentally challenged by the stress and depression of you all the time. You have to go home and you cannot learn, you cannot relax, because you have to focus on, oh my god, I have to search for a job, I have to search for a job, where should I search for a job? Damn son, nah. That's finally over, at least. Of course I should maybe search for better jobs. It's not that challenging, but now for the time being it's okay, this one, in order to collect some money, be able to pay the rent, and learn the Danish language and move on. Hopefully this will be. And yes, objective 2 is to become financially stable finally, and learn the language, and yeah, finally sustain myself. And hopefully I will be able to visit my family and friends back at home in Hungary after a while, if I collect enough money, and do the things I want, to finally buy myself the things I want. So yeah, it's going to be a challenge, but hopefully it will work out. And wish me good luck, because it's going to be really, really, really hard. But oh well, this is what I chose. Not all the time the easy way is the good way. This is the hard way, and if it's worth it, if it will help me to reach my goals. I'm very happily able to deal with it and go on that fucking bike and deliver those newspapers each day if I have to. Of course, I'm still not sleeping that much again because of this, but well, hopefully it will work out. So, thank you for joining me. I can officially announce Objective 1 after 4 months is completed. And yes, to note to old people or who will maybe watching this that they want to move out to another country, that they want to get establish themselves in another country where you don't speak the language and you expect to do some work, even if the work doesn't require to speak the language, you will need a couple of months and at least 4 months, but maybe 5 or 6 months of money to be able to sustain yourself, because otherwise you just run out of money and there's no point because you have to go on. So yes, this is the time I think I need. Of course, it's easier if you go to a country where you speak the language, or you have some connections, or you have already a contract, a place to go to work for or work at. It's possible. What I had, it was like I don't speak the Danish language yet. I didn't have any connections, so it was harder for me. But it's for those guys who could have this same situation. You have to be prepared for this because it's not gonna be easy. You're not gonna take it easy, but it's doable. It's doable with patience and with will. You have really need to have a strong will, positive attitude, and keep fighting on, even if everything is depressing and stressing, and you are homesick or whatever. So yeah, finally did it. So see you next time, and hopefully I will be able to share some more improvements later on. See you.